afternoon and welcome to Franklin College. This is Grizzlies basketball on Grizz TV, presented by the Hubler Automotive Group. Charlie Clifford with you this afternoon of Wish TV. It is a women's and men's doubleheader here in Franklin. Manchester is in. This is the first of two this afternoon. The women will tip here just after 1 o'clock, and then the men's game at 3 o'clock. Let's get right into this matchup. Heartland Conference battle. Manchester's played very well of late. 4 consecutive wins, 5-2 on the season. Josh Zurich will start 5 freshmen once again this afternoon. We'll get to the starting lineups momentarily. The Spartans team 4-1 on the road. They have not had a problem in the early going this season away from home with freshmen. It's a credit to Coach Zurich in his 19th season. Over 200 career wins. Quite the run for the Spartans. As for Franklin, the Grizzlies come in 3-3, winners of 2 straight. This team still looking for its first win on its home floor this season. Also a young lineup for first-year head coach Jessica Johnson on Wednesday night at Olivet, a 15-point win. That moved Franklin to 3-3 on the season and 1-1 in the HCAC. As for Jessica Johnson, this is a nice story. 2014 graduate coming back after leading the Marion Knights under Steve Brooks, that Marion team in NAIA ball. A quarterfinalist last year in the national tournament. He's been a head coach at Perry Meridian, Martinsville, and Clinton Prairie here locally at the high school level. And you can just tell as this team takes the floor for warm-ups, there is an energy back around this program that was simply lacking the past few years. It's a young squad that's playing very hard for a young, hungry coaching staff. As for Coach Zurich, I spoke to him a few minutes ago. He admitted never in his tenure has he run out 5 freshmen in a starting lineup, but he said it with a smile. He's struggled to find the right rotations, but that's been a good problem for Coach Zurich. There's plenty of players fighting for playing time. It's a scrappy group. As for this matchup, he said don't expect to see the full court press they ran out against Kalamazoo. Much more of a conservative, keep it simple approach this afternoon, trying to steal one on the road. In a conference that, look, there's Transylvania and there's everyone else. Transylvania, the 3rd-ranked team in Division III, entering this afternoon. They have built a monster down there in Kentucky. And now the question is, how do you filter the rest of the HCAC? How will things shake out this afternoon? And really the rest of this season at the top of the conference. We're just about 5 minutes away from the national anthem. Again, Charlie Clifford with you this afternoon. This contest sponsored by the Hubler Automotive Group. This is Franklin Grizzlies basketball on Grizz TV. We'll be back shortly with starting lineups after this. Welcome back to Franklin College. Charlie Clifford with you. It is Franklin and Manchester. We are getting ready for the first of two, a doubleheader this afternoon. Women's and men's hoops here, HCAC showdowns. First up, it's the Spartans and the Grizzlies on the women's side. Here are your starters for Jessica Johnson's Franklin Grizzlies this afternoon. At the guard spot, Taylor Cooney, the sophomore, number 20, is in the starting lineup, along with Georgia Hanauer. Georgia's started the last two games. You can make it 3 straight. Sarah O'Day back in the starting lineup, the lone upperclassman alongside Cece Bailey. So Bailey, O'Day, Hanauer, Cooney, and the freshman Jordan Kuhn, who's played well of late. Started now the past 6 of 7, I should say, for Coach Johnson. Those are your starting 5 for the Grizzlies. Looking over at Manchester, your starting lineups for Josh Zurich. It'll start with Madison Smith alongside Haley Klein, Allie Graber, Mia Shields, and Abby Rosencrans also in the starting lineup. No Jessie Ringen today for Josh Zurich. She did not make the trip. So 5 freshmen for Manchester up against a very young lineup as well on the Grizzly Cubs side. We're under a minute to tip off here at Franklin College. Everything this afternoon on Grizz TV presented by the Hubler Automotive Group. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We're excited for a full day of hoops. It's December in the basketball state. And we will now stand and recognize this rendition of the national anthem. Welcome back to Grizz TV. Charlie Clifford. We have Franklin and Manchester getting ready for tip. We just went through the starting lineups. If you're just joining us, again, Manchester has won 4 consecutive games. This team is 4-1 on the road this season. Knocked off Earlham a week ago, so a week off for Josh Zurich's club to get ready for Jessica Johnson and the Franklin Grizzlies. The last 2 meetings between these two teams, you go back to last season, Franklin won each game by at least 18 points. Coach Zurich certainly aware that his club has lost 8 consecutive matchups to Franklin. This certainly will feel, and on paper at least, coming in like a much better battle this afternoon. Last year, the Spartans going 8-15, just 5 conference wins. They already have a 2-0 start in the HCAC. As for Coach Johnson, you know the story by now if you've joined us on Grizz TV. She comes in late July, is able to keep this roster intact, and really starting to develop some of these underclassmen players here. 6 games into this season. This is a major test, trying to win her first game on her old floor here at Franklin College. This team 0-2 at home so far this season. You go back to Wednesday night, a win over Olivet, 15-point win. It was a close game, 3-point game in the fourth quarter. Really, the defense did a nice job, 22% shooting. The Grizzlies holding Olivet on Wednesday night. We're almost ready to go. Our officials today, Tim Cartwright, Brian Humphrey, and Steve Correa. A nice crew ready to go. And let's do a little double dip of HCAC hoops this afternoon on Grizz TV, presented by Hubler Automotive Group. Again, Charlie Clifford of Wish TV in Indianapolis with you this afternoon. It will be Bailey tipping for the Grizz, Smith going up for the Spartans. And we are underway. Manchester controlling the tip. And we're ready for a double header here. Again, the men's game, 3 o'clock. If all goes to schedule. And an early defensive stop by the freshman Kuhn. Out to the corner. Here's Cooney up top. Again, it's Cooney, Hanauer, O'Day, Bailey. Here's Cooney, 6 on the shot clock. Bailey, the lefty from the left side. And the good putback. Georgia Hanauer, the opening bucket of the game. It's Hanauer's 3rd consecutive start. Played 20 games as a freshman. And she gets the nod again this afternoon. Early turnover. That was the concern for Josh Zurich. Limit the turnovers here. This is a young team. Again, 5 freshmen in the starting lineup. And Shields called for the early walk. O'Day backdoor, good look from Bailey. Cooney left alone. Jumper off to the right. Here's Haley Klein, another one of these promising freshmen. Into Rosencrantz, she can't finish. We're a few minutes in here, 2-0 Franklin, the first of 2 this afternoon. O'Day attacks the left side, can't finish on the left side. Klein looking for Smith, and it's the second Spartans turnover through 5 trips down. Cooney is the point guard here in the early going for Coach Johnson. There was no question about that. She settled into this role. 8 points a game. O'Day on the attack. Right hand on the left side. It's 4-0 Grizzlies. Shields, Klein, Smith, Graber, Rosencrantz. This is the group Zurich goes with early. Good on-ball defense. Kuhn with the steal, and there's a 3rd turnover. Three Manchester turnovers through 6 trips. Here's a set play for Kuhn over to O'Day in the corner. Back out to Kuhn, straight away. We'll have our first jump ball that'll stay here with the Grizzlies. Cooney to inbound. Little box set. O'Day keeps it, right decision. 4 points early for Sarah O'Day. She's out of Plainfield High School, not far here from Franklin College. Was scoreless on Wednesday night, already 2 buckets in the first quarter this afternoon. Good backdoor cut. Good find from Graber. Klein can't finish. We'll have our first substitution. 3 Spartans checking in. That's Bridget Nash. This is another game close to home for Bridget. She's from Carmel, Indiana. Shields will stay in. Alyssa File also checking in. Nope, good for, and there's Kuhn running the floor. She may be the best athlete on this team. Cooney to Kuhn, 8-0 Grizzlies out of the gate. If you're just joining us, Jesse Ringen not here with the Spartans this afternoon. Key piece of that starting lineup. Nash on the drive. Kuhn lost her. And the Spartans are on the board. It's back to a 6-point game. A weave up top. O'Day loses it. Good spin move. Hanauer stepped in. A couple buckets. 4 points apiece for Hanauer and O'Day. This is what Jessica Johnson wants. Keep this Spartans offense up top. Graber misses the open lay-in. Here's Hanauer on the attack. 10-2 in the early going, just under 5 minutes to go first quarter. Drive, foul, and 2 shots going to the line for the opening free throws this afternoon. We'll take our first time out here on Grizz TV, presented by Hubler Automotive. Midway through the first quarter, Grizzlies 10, Manchester 2. Charlie Clifford will be back with you after this. Two, just under 5 to go first quarter. Franklin leads Manchester. A pair of free throws coming for Hannah Lindsay, senior from Speedway, Indiana. I was in her old gym last night. A nice tribute to cancer survivors and those battling cancer around the central Indiana area. Unified cancer night for the Speedway Sparkplugs. The boys team, a 3-point win over Monrovia. Shirley Lindsay misses that rivalry. And when you look at Josh Zurich's roster, there aren't many seniors to point to. Lindsay, one of his options off the bench this afternoon. It is 10-4. She gets both. Jasmine Walker, sophomore forward for the Grizzlies, in for the first time, as well as Maddie Barnes. Lauren Bates, a freshman, also on the floor. Bates has looked good in the early going. Barnes on the drive. Walker down low. Rims out. Lindsay the board. Nash is going to run. You'll watch Nash, probably the best ball handler on this team, as illustrated right here.
Offensive foul. Lauren Bates draws the charge. The entire Grizzlies bench is up for that one. Coach Johnson loves what she's seen out of Lauren Bates so far. Freshman out of Frankton. Had 12 points back on the 3rd of the month against Defiance. First career double-double. Does a little bit of everything. And there was a glimpse of that right there. Cooney takes the screen from Walker. Bates has a jumper. She wants it. And we'll go the other way. Foul on the rebound. No one picks up Lindsay. She pulls up from the free throw line. That's too strong. Walker, the aggressive rebound. Barnes to Cooney. Cooney, really a pass-first point guard. Rarely you'll see her look for her shot. Barnes the corner to O'Day. O'Day's gotten a ton of run here early. Back up top, O'Day, 4 on the shot clock. Bates has to take it. 3 if it's good. It's short. Cooney with the offensive board. And it's 12-4 Franklin, the offensive glass, and the turnovers. The two difference makers early for the Grizzlies. If you're just joining us, 4 freshmen starting for the Spartans, and Nash from the fine. Good look. That's Peyton Horn. Another one of a rare upperclassman for Coach Zurich this season. Zurich with the bullet to Nash. It's 12-6. Walker wants it down low. Takes it to the left side. Jasmine Walker. Jeffersonville, Clarksville High School. Played 22 games as a freshman, about 10 minutes a night. Good defense from Walker. Cooney's going to take it 2-on-1. Back out to Bates. Bates straight away, the biggest lead of the afternoon. Grizzlies by 10. 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Klein, right side, it's O'Day. Substitutions. Kuhn is back in for the Grizzlies, as well as Bailey and Hanauer. Peyton Horn. Madison Smith. And Mia Shields back in for the Spartans. Shields harassed by Kuhn. It's into Smith on Bailey. We'll get Bailey. That's number 1 on CC Bailey. Nash out of bounds. Doesn't want Horn, wants Smith on the slip. Smith attacks Bailey. And 2 quick fouls on CC Bailey. Well, that move Jasmine Walker back in at will. So that might be the last you see from CC Bailey here in the first half, starting forward for Jessica Johnson. Smith goes to the line for 2. Smith 60% for her freshman season at the line, 10 points a night. Coach Zurich said the best thing about Smith, she's really tough on herself. I don't have to remind her when things aren't going well. She is going to start a ton of games here before it's all said and done. Had Walker down low. Barnes missed her. This time it's Smith with the defense. Shields will look up and run. Shields from 3, and she got it. Walker took a spill. Stop, pop, Mia Shields. Hamilton Heights, you saw plenty of that. It's back to a 6-point game. 4-0 run for Manchester. Grizzlies offense playing through Walker in the post. Bates drives, and that's an offensive foul. Hanover using the elbow. Nash took the worst of that. And coming back in for the Spartans is Rosencrantz, who started today in place of Jesse Ringen. Under a minute to go. 16-10. Franklin by 6. The Grizzlies have led by as many as 10. Shields drives, double dribble. 5th turnover by the Spartans in the first quarter. Bates will walk it up. 8-second differential shot clock and game clock. Bates will attack, trying for a 2-for-1. Travel is the call. Coach Johnson maybe wanted the 2-for-1 there. Instead, it'll likely be the final possession of the first quarter if Manchester wants it. Klein in the corner. Smith with position on Walker will stay here out of bounds on Bates. 12 seconds left, side out of bounds. If Nash is on the floor, she'll inbound. It's that simple. Klein up top to Shields. Over in the corner. Rosencrantz denied by Walker, but all ball up top. The call, though, is the body down low, and Rosencrantz gets 2 shots. It's the 5th foul on the Grizzlies. Rosencrantz, 78% from the line, one of the top shooters from the stripe for Coach Zurich. Academic All-State honors at Pendleton Heights High School. 5 seconds left. Bates crosses the timeline, pulls up, off to Barnes. Barnes short, so after a quarter, a 10-point lead for the Grizzlies dissipates to 4. Manchester down just 2 buckets as we go to the second quarter. This is Grizz TV presented by the Hubler Automotive Group. Charlie Clifford on the call this afternoon. We're back with the second quarter after this. Second quarter ready to go. Franklin leads by 4. Grizzlies led by as many as 10 in the opening quarter. Nash, Rosencrantz, Shields, Smith, and Klein for Coach Zurich and the Spartans to enter. Open the second quarter. Smith from the corner, little short. Excuse me, that was Nash from the corner. For Rosencrantz, defended by Hanauer. High screen Smith. Smith loses her, Shields loses her dribble. 4 on the shot clock. Nash needs to heave it. No chance. Back comes Kuhn. Kuhn, Bates, Hanauer, Cooney, and O'Day for Coach Johnson. Corner, O'Day spots up for three. Front iron, rebound Hanauer, no call. Stay here, no whistle. Again, our officials this afternoon, Tim Cartwright, Brian Humphrey, Steve Coria. Graber back in for the Spartans. Bates inbounds, O'Day hands it back to Bates. Left wing up top, Hanauer, open three, it's long, board Graber. Graber's gonna push, he has Rosenkrantz, didn't see her. There it is a little late, shot fake, good move. It's a 2-point ball game. Cooney corner to Kuhn, top of the key, down low, Hanauer, good position, Hanauer finishes. 6 points for Hanauer to lead everybody. Graber, high screen from Smith. Wanted the roll, another turnover, make it 6 for the Spartans. Cooney up top. Right wing Kuhn, strong drive, whistle on the floor, will keep it underneath, whistle. That's Madison Smith. First foul on Smith. Smith will take a breather. Checking in for the first time, Alexis Porter, sophomore and 11 for the Spartans. She picks up Hanauer. Hanauer uses it, rolls, bucket, good. Georgia Hanauer put up 12 on Wednesday night. Sarah O'Day whistled for this foul up top just after crossing the timeline. Graber will run the point for this unit with Nash on the bench. Rosenkrantz, Graber uses the screen, steps back into a three. Bates on the board. Here come the Grizzlies. Kuhn, Hanauer spotting up, good look to the corner. Cooney for three, yes! Here come the Grizzlies, a 9-point lead, 7-0 run. Fantastic court awareness, great ball movement. Bates to Cooney. And Cooney's on the board. Down low, Rosenkrantz turns it over. O'Day's gonna push it up the floor. Great look to Cooney, she's fouled. Rosenkrantz got her. Cooney goes to the line for two. So the last two possessions, the Grizzlies get out and run. You'll watch Sarah O'Day run with the ball. She runs like the wind. Two-sport athlete here at Franklin. An all-conference track star here in the HCAC. And also plays a little hoops in the winter. Cooney connects on the first. And as you see O'Day disappear out of your picture, little Gatorade and she's back in. Cooney gets both. It's the largest lead of the afternoon for the Grizzlies. 11 points. It's a 9-0 run. Shields pressured by Kuhn. Lindsay checks back in. She moves it over left side, Graber. Didn't want Klein on the baseline. Graber walks it over right side, attacks the right wing, a whistle on the floor. It'll be the freshman Kuhn reaching in. Number one on Kuhn, Graber to inbound. Tough angle for Porter. 6.5 left here, second quarter. Kuhn on the drive, keep it out of bounds. Bates to inbound, Hanauer pops up, high screen, Kuhn from Cooney. O'Day looking for Cooney on the slip. Good hands from Shields. Shields is everywhere. And those are the plays Coach Zurich is looking for in the early going. Manchester handled a very slow start, got this game back to a 2-point contest. Coach Zurich looking for that intensity on the defensive end to hang around here in the first half. Cooney defended by Lindsay. Hanauer open for the three. O'Day boarded Lindsay. Looking for a guard. Graber finds her. And there's the story early for Manchester offensively. When they get sped up a little bit, the turnovers have come all over the place. That's 7 for Manchester. O'Day with the Euro. Didn't get the roll.
Sarah O'Day showing you a little bit of everything here early. Down low, Porter. Hanauer again. Strong defensively in the post.
5.5 to go, 11-point game. It's still a 9-0 run for the Grizzlies. Bates attacking the left side. No one stopped her. Timeout, Spartans. Grizzlies by 13 midway through the second quarter. You're watching Grizz TV, the first of 2 this afternoon. The men's game tipping at approximately 3 o'clock. Charlie Clifford with you. Hubler Automotive Group presenting both broadcasts this afternoon. We'll be back with the rest of the second quarter after this.
Grizz TV, Hanauer and Cooney combining for 15 early points for Coach Johnson. Coach Zurich's group, Manchester 5-2 on the season. They've won 4 consecutive games, 4-1 this season on the road. So give Coach Zurich credit. He told us pregame, no, I have never started 5 freshmen before. Going back in his 19 seasons, the longest tenured head coach in the HCAC. And this afternoon, certainly the toughest road test yet against the Franklin team that's had the Spartans' number. 8 consecutive wins for the Grizzlies over Manchester. You have to go back to 2017, the last time Manchester got it done, and that will help. Haley Klein, the top 3-point shooter on this squad, 45% coming into this afternoon, a triple. It's back to a 10-point game. Hanauer, Cooney, shot fake, travel. 4th turnover for the Grizzlies. So 7 from the Spartans, 4 from the Grizzlies.
Exactly what Coach Zurich's looking for. A quick 3 and a stop. Win the final 4.5 minutes of the second quarter and get into halftime within reach. Files back in. File almost turned it over. It's the corner, Klein. Klein, Barnes, one-on-one. And that is the corner of doom for the Spartans here in the first half, right in front of Franklin's bench. Bridget Nash, 5th year out of Carmel. She played at Bishop Chatard, checking back in. She will retake her spot as the all-time inbounder for the Spartans. Lindsay, Klein, Shields. 2 on the shot clock. Shields off the window. No, and that's the shot clock violation. Turnover number 8. Coach Johnson sticking with Cooney and Hanauer, Those two have combined for 15. O'Day's been on the floor most of the first half. You have Barnes and Kuhn also back in. Here's Hanauer short. File with some nice post defense. Shields has a wide open three, top of the key. Good board, Hanauer, and she saves it right to Lindsay. Lindsay can't finish. File with the rebound. Shields on the attack. We're wrapped up in a jump ball. Barnes and Lindsay wrapped up. Possession arrow stays with the Spartans. A bit helter-skelter, but that's how Manchester wants to play. 5 freshmen. You prove to the other team you aren't afraid of playing at the college level. Good look to Shields in the corner. She didn't get anything. Nash on the offensive glass. Shot clock didn't reset. 6 on the shot clock. Barnes lost it. Nash is going to have to put it up from the corner. 2, 1. Catches a little bit of iron and File keeps it. But before it catches iron, the call on the floor is a shot clock violation. We'll have the refs huddle here. Tim Cartwright, Brian Humphrey, Steve Cora. Short conversation. And it will stay with the Spartans. They got that right. It was a tough angle to see. And credit Nash for finding iron there in no man's land. Jasmine Walker's back in. Hanauer will take a rest. 3:14 remaining here in the second quarter. Grizzlies lead by 10. Lead's been as large as 13. Again, a discussion here with the substitution. This is Grizzlies basketball on Grizz TV, presented by the Hubler Automotive Group. We're thrilled to have Hubler back on board this season here at Franklin College. The HCAC season heating up. Grizzlies 1-1 in conference play. The Spartans walked in on the road 2-0. Nash throws it into the backcourt. That is a clean play. No one touches it in the front court. Shields walks it back across. Cooney with stifling defense. File 6 on the shot clock. Back to Nash. Nash into Shields. Excuse me, that's Klein off the window. Klein finds herself available and finishes on the right side. 5 consecutive points from Haley Klein. You'll see a lot of this motion up top for Coach Johnson. A little 3-man weave, and Walker, it rolls out. Cooney mixed up with Shields underneath, and the foul goes on Shields. They were locked up. A hook and hold. An awkward landing for both players. Bates coming back in. Barnes heads to the bench. Only the 3rd foul on the Spartans. Coach Johnson calling in the play from the sideline. It's a double screen. Right back to Walker in the post. She doesn't hesitate. And Haley Klein has made a difference on both ends of the floor here in this juncture. Steal for Klein. File looking for a guard. Finds Nash on the right wing. Takes it low. Nash back to File, able to keep it in bounds. Lindsay one-on-one with Cooney. Shields to the left. Lot of contact. No whistle. File saves it to O'Day. O'Day will push it. O'Day right to the rim. Drops it off for Walker. Stolen by Nash. Nash all the way on the right side. Yes! It's a 6-point game. A 7-0 run for the Spartans, and there's a little noise behind the Spartans bench. O'Day on the curl. Travel, Sarah O'Day. And Hanauer's coming back in for Walker. Smith checking back in for File. Spartans back within 6. They've trailed by double figures now twice, once in each quarter, excuse me. Nash has really stabilized this offense coming off the bench at point guard. Smith picked up by Hanauer. Cooney up on Lindsay. Nash keeps it alive. We'll have a jump ball situation. And possession going back to the Grizzlies. Just under a minute to play here. First quarter on Grizz TV. Heartland Conference basketball presented by Hubler Automotive Group. Hanover just beyond the free throw stripe. That's short. Nash running. Peyton Horn down low. Smith. Foul, Hanover. And Hanauer picks up her second. So Cece Bailey and Hanauer both with 2. Coach Johnson quickly going back to Jasmine Walker. Doesn't want either of her top front court players with 3 fouls going to the second half. Madison Smith back to the line for the second time this afternoon. Coach Zurich's done a nice job in the first half. He told us before this contest, look, it's been hard to figure out rotations. There are a lot of interchangeable pieces. As you've seen today, everyone on the floor in black is playing hard. And with no seniority to fall back on, it's just been about shuffling the deck and finding the right combination. He's found one here in the second quarter. Great hard screen from Walker. She rolls and she gets a trip to the line for 2. A nice set play. Grizzlies trying to end this 9-0 run. It was a 13-point game. It's down to 4. And Jasmine Walker's first trip to the stripe. Connects on the first. Coach Johnson told us about Walker. She just continues to get better. And when she's on the floor, you can bet on this. Jasmine Walker will keep the ball alive. She saves possessions on a nightly basis. Gets 1 of 2 here. Grizzlies back up 5. Kuhn all over Shields. Graber, 12 on the game clock. Shot clock is off. Traveling violation. That's double digits, 10 turnovers for the Spartans. 9 on the game clock. Cooney, 6, high screen Walker. Cooney on the right side. It's a turnover. Here comes Graber. Shots up in time, and it's long. At halftime, Franklin leads by 5. The Grizzlies were up as many as 13. This young Manchester team refusing to go away early. We'll take a break for halftime. We'll come back with more Grizz TV presented by the Hubler Automotive Group. Charlie Clifford with you this afternoon. The first of 2, a doubleheader at Franklin College. Franklin women leading by 5 at half.
watching Grizz TV. Charlie Clifford of Wish TV in Indianapolis on the call with you this afternoon. Franklin leads by 5 at halftime. Jessica Johnson looking for her first win back on her old home floor. 2014 grad here at Franklin this summer. Coach Johnson got a chance to come home after one season under Steve Brooks at Marion, one of the top NAIA programs in the nation. She jumped at that opportunity. This roster was pretty much all the way set, and credit to Coach Johnson, she was able to keep essentially everything intact. She's turned some young players for the Grizzlies into promising players on both ends of the floor. And here's where things stand after the first half. The Grizzlies led by as many as 13. Manchester has come back from 2 double-digit deficits. It's now a 5-point contest. Coach Zurich for the Spartans played 8 players at least 8 minutes in the first half. So he told us before the game, look, I'm going to shuffle the deck. I'm going to try to find the right combinations. He's starting 5 freshmen for the first time in 19 years as a head coach, and it's worked to some degree here in the first half, not letting this game get out of hand, trying to run it to 5 consecutive wins and get to 6-0 on the season, and more importantly, 3-0 in the HCAC. Some foul trouble to keep an eye on for the Grizzlies. 2 fouls apiece for CC Bailey and Georgia Hanauer. That's a major storyline here as we start the third quarter. Sarah O'Day and Taylor Cooney each play over 18 minutes for Coach Johnson, and they combined for 15 first half points to lead the Grizzlies to this 5-point halftime lead. We are ready for the third quarter on Grizz TV. The doubleheader this afternoon presented by the Hubler Automotive Group. The men's game will tip at approximately 3 o'clock. This has been a fun atmosphere here. It's starting to feel like December hoops in the basketball state. Where else would you rather be than right here in Indiana the next 3 weeks? Happy holidays, everybody. Right to start, Graber on the drive, kicks it to Smith off the deck. Smith can't finish. Smith, Klein, Graber, Shields, and Rosencrantz. The same starting 5 for Coach Zurich. 7 on the shot clock. Corner, Graber rims out. Hanauer with the rebound. Bailey's back in with 2 fouls, as is Hanauer. Kuhn, O'Day, and Cooney up top. So starters for both sides to start the third quarter. Cooney, 7 first half points, looking for 9. Give her 9. Grizzlies back up 7. Half-court man-to-man defense. That's what we've seen so far from Franklin. Graber left alone by O'Day, and the reverse. Moving from the left block to the right, using the right hand off the window. And Graber's opening bucket of her afternoon. Cooney to Bailey, good look. Bailey can't get it. Lefty missed it on the left side. Graber picked up by Hanauer. Picked up her dribble. 15 on the shot clock. Smith picks up her dribble. 8 on the shot clock. Graber down low to Smith. Smith to the right side off the window. It's a 3-point game. O'Day just to the right of the free throw line. Can't get it. Graber. Ball isn't touching the deck. Smith and the foul. Madison Smith goes to the line for 1. Georgia Hanauer picks up her 3rd personal. And quickly, Lauren Bates off the bench. Coach Johnson will take a 30-second timeout as Madison Smith stands at the line trying to tie this game. Manchester has not led in this contest. Manchester head coach Josh Zurich exactly what he wanted in the opening 2.5 minutes in the third quarter. 13-point lead midway through the second quarter has disappeared. And credit the 5 scrappy freshmen in gold and black. This unit coming together well on the road. That was one of the notes we talked about ahead of tip-off. Yes, the schedule has played into this to some degree, but to be 4-1 away from home with this amount of inexperience, it's a testament to what these players did at high school and the fact that they were ready to go when they arrived on campus at Manchester. Coach Johnson breaking the huddle with Bates, Kuhn, Bailey, O'Day, and Cooney. So Hanauer's early personal foul sends her to the bench with 3. Madison Smith on the line trying to complete the 3-point play. Smith with 7 points. 4 of those coming here in the second half. And the Grizzlies stay up by 1. Bates ahead to Kuhn. Kuhn to the right side. Rolls out. Graber up ahead looking for Smith. Smith controls it. And Bates ends up with it after the miss. Bates looking for Kuhn. Good recovery from Graber. Kickball, stay here, side out of bounds. We'll take it under out of bounds. Good flow here in the third quarter, only 1 whistle. Just about 3 minutes in. Kuhn hands to Bates. Bates left alone, could have had a shot, she passed it up. Looked like CeCe Bailey was thinking the same thing. Put it up. You're right there. Lauren Bates still a freshman, she's looked great. High school runner-up at Frankton. And she's found her role here. CeCe Bailey on the left block. That is what Coach Johnson wants. Give it to the upperclassmen and let the Spartans try to figure out how to stop the lefty on the left side. Smith with good post position. O'Day comes over, blocks it on the help side. Kuhn takes it 1-on-2 and a whistle from Graber. No shot. Allie Graber. That'll be her first. It's constantly this box setup on the out of bounds for Coach Johnson. Here's Bates. Maybe a kick there, wasn't called, and we'll get a jump ball, a tie up. Bailey on the deck, along with Klein. Franklin retains possession. .19 on the shot clock. Kuhn, Cooney, Bailey, O'Day, and Bates. Here's Kuhn using the screen, and another one rolls out. Up ahead, Smith runs the floor. Madison Smith has been the story in the second half. Smith now with 9. Kuhn drops it off for Bailey. Bailey gets the roll. CeCe Bailey, 39th career game this afternoon, 12th career start. She is the glue in the front court for Coach Johnson. Bailey and Smith. Smith trying to take her time and travel on Bailey. Travel on Smith. Check the turnovers That's 11. First turnover of the second half for the Spartans. It's been a much cleaner third quarter after committing 10 in the first half. Bates on the drive, tries to follow her own miss. It's out of bounds. Smith's played tough on the defensive end. She's giving up a few inches in the post. She's done an admirable job patrolling the help side defense as well. This Manchester team, it has hustle. I wouldn't say there's much height, though, if you look across the top five. Graber, strong drive on the left. And the Spartans are back within one. This is Grizz TV, a doubleheader this afternoon. The men's game will tip around 3 o'clock. Bates behind the back. Bailey active in the paint. No whistle. Rosencrantz bringing it up as Coach Johnson stomps her feet on the Grizzlies sideline. Klein cut off by Cooney. Smith down low. Rosencrantz back to Smith. It's too long. Bates. Position on the glass. It's been a frantic pace here on both ends in the third quarter. Cooney from the right wing. It's good. Grizzlies back up 4. Cooney leads everyone on the Grizzlies side with 9. Graber one-on-one with O'Day. Rosencrantz in the post. Bates defends her straight up. Rosencrantz off the window. Bates with the rebound. Coon on the right wing. Cooney slows it down. Bates up top. See if they can get Bailey a touch in the post. O'Day on the drive, right past Graber, off the window. Bailey's follows, good. CeCe Bailey continues her big second half. That's 6 for Bailey, all in the second half. Timeout, Spartans. So after getting back within 1, a 5-0 run for the Grizzlies. Franklin by 6, 3.5 to go in the third quarter. This is Franklin Grizzlies basketball on Grizz TV, presented by the Hubler Automotive Group. Franklin College leads Manchester by 6, 3.5 to go, third quarter. Charlie Clifford of Wish TV in Indianapolis with you this afternoon. Coach Zurich's team, the second half, Madison Smith has been the difference. The freshman, Caston High School, 9 points now on the afternoon. Much cleaner on the offensive end for the Spartans after 10 first half turnovers. And a smart timeout there. We'll have some substitutions for the first time in the second half. Manchester bringing back in Bridget Nash, Bishop-Chittard guard, 5th-year senior for the Spartans. Also on Hannah Lindsay. Lindsay's out of Speedway, and also checking in Janiyah Blakely, Blakely also in. Blakely, Marquette Catholic. Nash goes to the line, 2 shots. And Nash gets the first. Peyton Horn also on for the Spartans, so a full line change for Coach Zurich. Alyssa File, a little run in the first half. 1 of 2 for Nash. Barnes brings it up. She just checked in. Cooney, Barnes, Walker, Kuhn on the wing. Back to Cooney. Cooney for 3. Cooney with 15 to lead all scorers. That's a new career high for Taylor Cooney, the sophomore from Greensburg High School. Had a 13 against Defiance earlier this month. Nash puts Cooney on the deck. Down low to File, and the foul. Bridget Nash with shades of Steve Nash. And a great look to File. She goes to the line to complete the 3-point play and try to get back within 5 here. 2.5 to go in the third quarter. We've mentioned it earlier. Bridget Nash, 5th-year senior, played at Bishop Chatard. 93 career games for Bridget Nash. That is a guard you want on the floor in the second half of games in the HCAC. File completes the 3-point play. Kuhn gets rid of it to Cooney. O'Day wide open. Sarah O'Day, always under control. Never feels like she's in a rush. She's a track star collegiately here in conference and has a great handle for a young player for Coach Johnson. Back to a 7-point lead again. Nash to File, can't finish. Blakely on the drive, short. Kuhn, Blakely on the deck, File in there as well, jump ball. It will stay with Manchester. CC Bailey back in for Walker. Walker, a quick spurt. Bailey gets a breather. Under 2 minutes to go. If you're just joining us, Franklin led by as many as 13 in the first half. Back to a 7-point game. O'Day nearly with the steal. It's a 5-point game at halftime. And Taylor Cooney, the sophomore guard for Franklin, heated up 2 threes here in the second half. She leads all scorers with 15. Grizz TV this afternoon brought to you by the Hubler Automotive Group. Charlie Clifford from Wish TV. Here for game 1, the men will tip right around 3 o'clock this afternoon. And we're checking in for confirmation with the scorers table. And we're ready to bring it back in here. 1:46 on the clock, third quarter. Manchester as close as 1 here in the third quarter. Steal O'Day. Cooney picked up by File. Barnes, O'Day was open in the corner, could have been a bounce pass. Instead, that's a steal by Lindsay. And Cooney picks it right back up. 4-on-4 the other way. O'Day running the floor. Barnes has O'Day. Good hustle from Lindsay to get back in the play. Kuhn thought about it, stepped through, and the bucket is good. Jordan Kuhn, freshman from Castle. Everyone in the Evansville area remembers that name. Grizzlies by 9, under a minute, third quarter. Corner for Peyton Horn. Cooney up ahead. O'Day running with Bailey. Down to Bailey. Stepped on the line, out of bounds. Turnover back to the Spartans.
Nash walks it across half court. Blakely to her left. Lindsay screens down for File. Triangle on the left side. File takes Bailey off the dribble. Bailey on the floor. And that is CC Bailey's third personal.
Hanauer checks back in for Bailey. Hanauer, 3 fouls. Will Coach Zurich go after her here? Interesting substitution. You have Jasmine Walker on the bench. Didn't want Walker coming in. Nash pops out for three on the out-of-bounds play. Barnes runs. It's a 3-on-3. Left wing to Cooney. Back up Hanauer. Spots up for three. Off the iron to the left. 14 seconds on the game clock. Klein. Right to the right wing. Out of bounds. Hanover saves it. She was on the line. And with 6.5 seconds to go, we'll have an out-of-bounds play with Nash inbounding. Manchester trailing by 9. Trying to inch a little closer before the final quarter here at Franklin College. Lindsay 5 on the shot clock. Top of the key, Horn takes the shot, no whistle, and that will do it after 3 quarters. Coach Johnson, 10 minutes away from her first career victory at her alma mater's home gym. Grizzlies by 9. We're going to the 4th quarter after this on Grizz TV. You're looking at Coach Johnson's huddle ahead of the 4th quarter. Franklin leads by 9. The Grizzlies led by as many as 13 in the first half. This was a 1-point game a few minutes into the 3rd quarter. And Taylor Cooney has already eclipsed her career high. The sophomore from Greensburg High School, 15 points, a pair of triples in the 3rd quarter. Had her first double-double earlier this month against Defiance. Coach Johnson credits Cooney, who has stepped in at the point guard spot and really settled in. This unit that hasn't played a ton of basketball together ahead of it this season. And Franklin now 10 minutes away from making it 3 consecutive wins and to jumping to 2-1 in the HCAC, picking up their first win on their home floor this season. So Cooney, Kuhn, Hanauer, Barnes, and O'Day for Coach Johnson to start the 4th quarter. Cece Bailey, 3 fouls, Hanauer with the ball, also with 3. Those are your 2 foul storylines to keep an eye on here in the 4th quarter. Hanover travels to open the 4th quarter. Coach Zurich sticking with this bench unit to open the 4th quarter. Lindsay, Shields, the starters back in there alongside Nash, Klein, and Smith. So 2 reserves, 3 starters, and Nash will run the point here in the 4th quarter, the 5th-year senior from Bishop Chatard. Smith and Lindsay, a little high-low game. Nash curls off the screen in the corner, Klein. Instead, Nash keeps it off the window on the right side. It's a 7-point game. Barnes has been quiet this afternoon. Her number's called here to start the 4th quarter. O'Day has Hanover wide open, top of the key. Long rebound, Shields. Shields cross court, picked off by O'Day. It's one-on-one O'Day and Lindsay. Hesitation dribble. O'Day too strong off the window. Kuhn keeps it. And here's Cooney for 17. It's short. Mia Shields wisely slowing the tempo here. Under 9 minutes to go. Manchester back within 7. Lindsay crosses up. Cooney, the 3. Smith had position, and stepping out of bounds is Hanauer. Out of bounds underneath to Manchester. with CeCe Bailey checking back in alongside Lauren Bates. Hanauer goes to the bench. And Barnes also taking a breather. CeCe Bailey, expect her to go the rest of the way, barring additional foul trouble. Bailey's had a strong second half, all 6 of her points coming in the second half. She checks back in, adds a steal to her box score, runs the floor. O'Day, good defense from Nash. High screen, Hanauer pulls it from the right, just beyond the free throw line. Trying to get Smith a few post touches against O'Day. They have a nice mismatch. High screen, Smith. Now it's Lauren Bates guarding Smith. Nash to the rim on the left side. Nash has been a factor in the second half. This is a 5-point ball game, 7.5 minutes to go. Franklin, again, for a team that hasn't played a ton together, we'll see if its guards can figure it out. Bailey out to Kuhn for 3 straight away. Jordan Kuhn not afraid of the spotlight. She's started now in 6 of 7 games. And a bad decision from Lindsay, looking for a slip from Smith. It wasn't there. Turnover, Manchester. Taylor Cooney back in, Hanauer to the bench, and timeout Spartans. An 8-point game with 7 minutes to go. We'll keep it here. You're going to look at head coach Josh Zurich's huddle. Coach Zurich, the longest tenured head coach in the HCAC, 19 seasons. He's won over 200 games. And he'll stay with Shields, Klein, Smith, Nash, and Lindsay. Hannah Lindsay off the bench, playing big minutes here in the second half. Manchester, if you take over the turnovers, they've played Franklin essentially straight up. 16 turnovers now, 6 in the second half for the Spartans. Points in the paint, that was a major concern at halftime, and they've evened it up. Manchester's been able to get in the paint. Now Franklin just +4 in the paint. There was a major discrepancy there in the first half. Can this Manchester team make it 5 straight victories? It's been one of the surprises here in the early going this season. Just 5 conference wins last season. Franklin, 8 consecutive victories against the Spartans. The last win Manchester's had over the Grizzlies, January of 2018. They have 7 minutes to try to end that streak. You need to come back from 8 points down as Kuhn and Cooney hand it up top. Smith will pick up Bailey in the post. That's the matchup to watch down the stretch. Lindsay all over Bates, 10 on the shot clock. Smith with nice post defense. There's the give and go with O'Day and a whistle. And O'Day gets 2 shots. Chris Pilo game. Bailey popping out, finding O'Day. Sarah O'Day to the line for 2. First one's good, her 7th point this afternoon. O'Day 62% from the line. And she gets 1 of 2. 9-point game, under 6.5 to go here at Franklin College. This is the first of 2, a doubleheader on the way. The men's game will tip 25 minutes after the completion of the opener this afternoon. Nash going one-on-one Lindsay picked up by Cooney, a desperation shot on the left side from Lindsay, and up ahead Bates to Kuhn. It was just a little too high. Coach Johnson talking with her freshman Lauren Bates. Didn't like that decision, up 9 with 6 minutes to go. And that is part of being a freshman. Bates has looked good today. Alexis Porter back in for Coach Zurich. Nash harassed by O'Day. O'Day overplays it. Nash to the drive. Good help defense from Cooney. And the hustle from Cooney on the floor. Timeout, Franklin. Taylor Cooney has not only hit 2 big three-pointers in the second half. That saves a possession for the Grizzlies. Every possession crucial here the rest of the way. A quick timeout here on Grizz TV. Charlie Clifford of Wish TV with you. We'll be back with the final 5 and change. Franklin leading Manchester by 9 in the fourth quarter. Grizz TV, Franklin, Manchester, HCAC hoops. If you look around the conference, Transylvania, the 3rd best team in the nation entering today, and then everybody else trying to figure out where do 2, 3, 4, 5 in terms of the standings shake out. We found out plenty about both these teams early. It's been evenly matched. Manchester's hung around, starting a lineup of 5 freshmen, and there's the freshman on the other side for Coach Johnson, Jordan Kuhn. And Franklin leads by 11. Nash, the only double-figure scorer so far for the Spartans up top. And Cece Bailey, the aggressive decision cost Bailey. That is her 4th personal foul. Coach Johnson with the decision here, and Bailey's going to stay in the game. Porter up top, guarded by Cooney. Porter in for the first time here in the second half. One too many steps. That will be the difference in the box score for Coach Zurich when he studies this, barring a comeback over the final 5 minutes. 17 turnovers for the Spartans here on the road this afternoon. Bates blows past. Back up top, O'Day. Kuhn in the corner. Kuhn follows her shot, dives out of bounds, and it's back to the Spartans. Graber in, Porter checking out. It's Manchester's 4 starters plus Nash on the floor likely here to close this one. Manchester down 11. They had this game back to a 1-point contest early in the third quarter after trailing by as many as 13 midway through the second quarter. Graber picks up her dribble. Nash is open for 3. Give her 3. Bridget Nash. Started 15 games a season ago. She's found a new role coming off Coach Zurich's bench, and the Spartans are suddenly back within 8. Bates driving the baseline. Too long on the lay-in. Bailey back out to Cooney. Her 3rd 3 of the second half. 2, 3, and it's in. Taylor Cooney extends her career high, 18 points for the sophomore. And we're trading threes here with under 4 to go in the fourth quarter.
Smith drives past Bailey. That is 5 fouls on CC Bailey. That is it. The junior is done. Georgia Hanauer checking back in. Still enough time for Coach Zerk to play out of the post without Bailey in the lineup. An 11-point game, 3.5 minutes to go. Coach Johnson down her top big the rest of the way. Popping out, Klein, easy two, back iron, it was too strong. We'll see if Franklin plays with a more deliberate pace here down the stretch. Kuhn gets the back door. Nash on the rebound. Manchester's gonna run. Graber looking for Klein, cross court three, way short. Hanauer up to Cooney. Cooney across to O'Day. O'Day pulls it back out. 3 minutes to go here. Franklin 11-point lead. And we'll have a substitution. Lindsay returns for Manchester. Barnes back in for Bates on the Franklin side. First-year head coach Jessica Johnson, 3 minutes away from potentially her first win back on her home floor. 2014 graduate here at Franklin. Took over the job in August. That's not much time for a head coach. And she's found a way to piece this together. And as you've noticed today, this is a team that's still learning one another. You haven't had to question for more than 1 or 2 possessions the hustle from Franklin today. This team plays hard and looking to jump to 4-3 on the season. Kuhn harassed in the corner. Hanauer spins. Foul underneath. Josh Zurich doesn't agree with that. It's the second on Graber. Third foul on Manchester in the fourth quarter. 2.5 to go. Franklin by 11. Barnes, corner for Cooney. Hanauer, Smith's in there. Smith with the steal. Manchester has to go. Graber takes it herself through the lane. She'll get 2. O'Day on the whistle. Third on Franklin. Rosencrantz back in for Manchester. Klein checking out. Smith checking out. Offense, defense the rest of the way for the Spartans. And Graber connects on the first. Graber has 5, Nash with 14 to lead Manchester this afternoon. Gets 1 of 2. It's a 10-point contest. 2 minutes and change to go. Franklin spreading the floor. Barnes, Hanauer. Screen from Barnes. Hanauer barely gets it to Cooney. And a whistle on the deck. That's Shields. Manchester's 4th foul. Cooney to inbounds. Kuhn and O'Day up top. O'Day back to Kuhn. 3. Right on line. A little light. Lindsay picked up by Barnes. Graber steps back for the 3. Hanauer skies for the board with Lindsay. A travel on Lindsay. Feet got tangled up. And timeout Manchester. With 1:36 left, the Spartans down 10. Franklin can start to feel it here. Manchester
Certainly putting in a full court defense here for the rest of the way. It's about clean passing and some free throws the rest of the way for Coach Johnson's club. And on the other end, Coach Zurich sorting out what's been a quiet night for some of his freshmen. Quiet afternoon, I should say. But for the Spartans, Bridget Nash out of Bishop Chatard High School, 14 points. He's done a nice job off the bench. If you're just joining us, 13 points, the largest lead in this game for Franklin. Manchester, thanks to freshman Madison Smith, drew within the 1 point early in the third quarter, and here in the fourth, Franklin has kept that lead right around 10 for the majority of the quarter. They're leading by 7 at halftime. For Franklin, Barnes, O'Day, Kuhn, Cooney, and Hanauer will inbound for Manchester. Rosencrantz, Nash, Graber, Shields, and Lindsay. Full court pressure, 1-2-2. Cooney breaks it, no problem. O'Day will park it just in front of the Franklin bench. 1:26 on the clock. Grizzlies up by 10. Barnes cut off and a whistle. Rosencrantz picks up the 5th foul from the Spartans in the fourth, and Barnes goes to the line for a 1-and-1 opportunity. Barnes on the season, perfect from the free throw stripe. She had her season best 16 against Wittenberg this past month. And, a 2-shot foul with now 5 in the quarter. Can't get both. Little miscommunication out of bounds, and that was a mistake from Nash and Shields. Franklin side out of bounds with just over a minute to go. Jessica Johnson ready to pick up win number 1 here at home of the Johnson era with the Grizzly Cubs. Travel on Hanauer. Nash trying to add to her total. 1 minute to play. Franklin leading Manchester by 10. The Grizzlies. This will be win number 3 in a row. And a 2-1 record in the HCAC. Shields gets 2. That foul was on the ground. Cooney whistled. And great save by Lindsay. She's a little shaken up on the baseline. Graber for 3. Boarded Hanauer. Cooney across to Barnes. Back to Cooney. 28 seconds to go. Franklin by 10. And Nash is whistled, and we're going to take an injury timeout. Lindsay's down on the far side of the court. Tremendous hustle. Hannah Lindsay, senior from Speedway High School, to keep that ball alive. Just on the play on the other end. And she made contact with the floor. We hope she's okay as Spartans medical staff is over. There are 24 seconds remaining on the clock. We'll have a 2-shot foul. Good to see Lindsay get off under her own power. Klein will check back in once more. Hanauer to the line for 2. 8 points for Hanauer this afternoon. And after a 15-point win on Wednesday over Olivet, this looks like it's another double-digit victory coming for Franklin. It's second of the week, and Coach Johnson's club putting things together in the early going of conference play. Manchester is going to fall to 5-3, 2-1 in conference play. But you'll see these 5 freshmen for a long time to come. And Graber's one of them. They are not clocking out with 9 seconds left. Graber will get 2 free throws. Up next for Manchester, a little winter break here for final exams, and then back on the 19th. Third-ranked Transylvania comes to Manchester. And then it'll be another 10-day layoff before the Baldwin Wallace tournament. 4 seconds to go here. Final bucket. That does it. Jessica Johnson, first-year head coach at Franklin, picks up her first victory on her home floor at her alma mater. Franklin 57, Manchester 45. Franklin moves to 4-3 on the season, 2-1 in the Heartland Conference. And the player of the game for Coach Johnson, that is Taylor Cooney, sophomore from Greensburg, Indiana. 18 points, a new career high. 4 for 4 from 3. Cooney, the difference in the second half as Franklin starts this doubleheader off with the victory. The men's game, we are a half hour away for Charlie Clifford and Grizz TV. It was great to be with you this afternoon. The final for the women's contest, 57-45, Franklin over Manchester. Hubler Automotive Group presenting the doubleheader this afternoon. We'll be back with the men's game after this.